If you like your thriller books cold, dark and full of suspense, you've come to the right place. Let's talk about some thriller books that give all the winter vibes. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Carly and today I'm going to be talking to you all about some thriller books that give the ultimate winter vibes. So we are talking isolated settings, mysterious disappearances, snow, murder, all the things that make a great winter thriller book. So for this video, I am going to be talking about some books that I have read and enjoyed that give winter vibes, perfect to add to your winter TBR. And also I'm going to be talking about some winter thriller books that I personally have on my TBR. Because when I was planning this video, I was like, I actually haven't read that many winter thriller books. So I thought to make up for it, I would talk about some books that I have on my TBR that I'm really excited about as well. There's just something about a winter setting that I absolutely love. I feel like a snowstorm setting just gives the ultimate like claustrophobic, isolated vibes because more often than not in these books, our main characters are trapped because of the weather. And yeah, I just love me some psychological, mind-bending murder mysteries in the snow. And to be honest, I think I'm just going to leave the intro there and dive straight into the books because I feel like I've got quite a lot to talk about. Shocking, I know. Right, let's kick things off with No Exit by Taylor Adams. Now, this book is available on Kindle Unlimited and it is under 300 pages. So it is perfect to binge in one sitting. It is perfect if you're trying to reach any end of year reading goals and perfect if you're looking for a winter thriller because it is set during a snowstorm. It follows the story of a college student called Darby who ends up stranded at this highway rest stop in the middle of nowhere because of the weather. Darby was on her way to visit her very sick mother, so she really didn't want to have to make the stop, but the weather has forced her hand and she's ended up at this rest stop where there are 4 other strangers in the same situation that she's in. Darby then goes outside to try and find phone reception to ring her sister to find out like how her mother is and all the rest of it. And while she's looking for phone reception, she's like this with her phone, trying to get her phone reception, she notices inside one of the parked cars, there's a young girl that is being held captive, like she's locked inside this car. Darby's thinking to herself, what on earth do I do? Because not only is this quite a bad situation to find yourself in, Darby's also fully aware that one of those 4 strangers inside the rest stop is responsible for kidnapping this girl. Like, what would you do? I would probably just stand there and panic, to be honest. And I'm not going to say too much more about the plot. It is a very short book, so there's not really much more to say without giving away spoilers. All I will say is this book had me on the edge of my seat the entire time I was reading it. My heart was racing. Like, I was so stressed. I usually read in the evenings to kind of like unwind and relax. There was absolutely no relaxing while I was reading this book. It was fast-paced. It was full of tension. Again, it was very claustrophobic because of the setting with the snow and the rest stop. And like Darby literally had no escape. Like, she wanted to save this girl, but like, where's she gonna go with no car and being stuck in the middle of a storm, you know? I bloody love this book. I love nothing more than feeling stressed up to my eyeballs when I read a thriller book. So yeah, if those are the vibes that you like, then I highly recommend this one. Next up, we've got another one that stressed me right out while I was reading it. Night Watching by Tracy Sierra. So I'm actually going to cheat for this one because I feel like the blurb is going to do a much better job than I can because I actually spoke about this book on one of my videos and it was at the end of one of my videos on my TBR. And when I read the blurb, when I was trying to like tell you guys what it was about, it hooked me straight in and I literally started reading it the night after I'd finished filming my video. Like, I was so intrigued. So it says, home alone with her young children during a blizzard, a mother tucks her son back into bed in the middle of the night. Then she hears a noise. Old houses are always making some kind of noise, but this sound is disturbingly familiar. It's the tread of footsteps, unusually heavy and slow, coming up the stairs. In that split second, she has 3 choices. Should she hide? Should she run? Or should she fight? Like, can you even imagine tucking your child into bed in the middle of the night? So her little boy has had a nightmare in the middle of the night and she tucks him back into bed and she's like, hang on a second. Why can I hear footsteps coming up the stairs when there definitely shouldn't be any footsteps coming up the stairs? This book kicks off from the very first page. Like literally from page 1, I was hyperventilating with stress. I tell you what it actually reminded me of a little bit was the film Escape Room. Is it called? No, it's not called Escape Room. I'm lying. It's called Panic Room. You know, the one with Jodie Foster in, where I think it's a similar vibe, actually. She's got 2 children and there's like a home invasion in the middle of the night and she just about makes it into the panic room. And then the whole film is all about like them being in this panic room and like with these burglars in the house and all the rest of it. Honestly, it was, if you haven't seen that film, I actually highly recommend the film. But this book gave me very similar vibes to that film. And again, it has a snowy, blizzardy type setting, which just adds to the tension because she's like, what am I going to do with my kids? Like if I manage to get out of the house, it is literally in the middle of a snowstorm. Like, are they going to be worse off outside or worse off in the house with this person who she doesn't even know is inside her house? It is literally like the ultimate claustrophobic home invasion vibes, and I highly recommend if you like stressing yourself out. Right, next up we have got Never Lie by Freida McFadden. I am not a huge Freida McFadden fan. I do think there's a place for her books. Like, they are very easy to read. They are very good if you're feeling a little bit slumpy. I think out of all of her books I've read, I've only liked 3, and this is one of them. As with all of Freida's other books, this is also available on Kindle Unlimited, and it is also a short book. I feel like this is under 300 pages as well, you know. Yeah, it is. 296 pages. So this follows the story of newlyweds called Trisha and Ethan, and they are looking for their dream home. So they go to view this house in the middle of nowhere, and they end up getting stuck there because of a snowstorm. Stuck inside with nothing to do and feeling a little bit bored, Trisha starts going snooping, and she stumbles across some audio transcripts which are between this psychiatrist called Dr. Hale and her patients. Now, Dr. Hale used to live in this house that they're stuck in, and she mysteriously vanished without a trace and was never seen again, obviously, because that's what vanished without a trace means. So yeah, Trisha starts listening to these tapes and starts piecing together what happened in the run-up to Dr. Hale going missing. And one thing about me, which I have mentioned multiple times on my channel, is I love a snowy setting anyway, but I absolutely love anything to do with like psychiatry, anything to do with like tapes or books or anything like that. And to be honest, this book was just the perfect recipe. I absolutely loved it. So yeah, it says there, with each tape, another shocking piece of the puzzle falls into place and a web of lies slowly unravels. But by the time Trisha reaches the final cassette, the one that reveals the entire horrifying story, it will be too late, ... And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. It is classic Freida McFadden. It is very easy to read. Like, I literally read this in one sitting. I know a lot of people go on about the twist at the end and say that it is a little bit ridiculous. Yes, it probably is a little bit ridiculous, and I do think there are some plot holes in it, but I just read for vibes. I just read to enjoy myself. I really enjoyed myself when I read this book, and yeah, I highly recommend. Next up, we have got one of my faves, Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney, and it's another one that's available on Kindle Unlimited. I do feel like a lot of these books kind of give similar vibes, but this follows the story of another married couple called Adam and Amelia, and they go to the Scottish Highlands for a romantic weekend away that actually ends up being far from romantic. They stay in this remote location, they're stuck because of a storm, they lose power. It is literally like all the perfect elements that I love in my thriller books. Like, I love these vibes personally. And it says there, but when their romantic trip takes a dark turn, they both start to wonder, can they trust the one they're with? So it is classic Alice Feeney, to be honest. They are in a toxic relationship. They're both lying to each other. You don't know which one you should trust. And that is all I'm going to say, because I feel like if I say any more about this book, I'm going to spoil it. And I want you to have the same experience I did when I read it, because I am telling you now, the twist in this book got me so good that I had to go back and reread the previous few chapters before it, because I thought I had read it wrong. I was literally reading and I was like, what? And then I had to go back like the previous couple of chapters just to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. And I love that. I absolutely love it when a thriller book gets you that good with a twist. So yeah, highly recommend. If this is on your radar and you haven't read it yet, then this is your sign to pick it up. Right, next up we have got The Gathering by CJ Tudor. And I do feel like, even though CJ Tudor is more of a thriller author, I do think this book crosses over into the horror genre a little bit, because it's also about vampires. Now, full disclaimer, some of the books in this video that I've read and I'll be talking about, I didn't actually rate that highly. I think I gave this book 2.5 stars, but I still think it's important to talk about books, even if you didn't rate them highly, because, I mean, I have seen like incredible reviews for this book, and I do feel like sometimes the problem is definitely me. And also, sometimes the reason I don't quite like a book would be the reason that you would choose to pick it up. And I couldn't leave it out of this video because the winter setting is ultimate. Like, it's set in Alaska. So like the little blurby bit says, "Welcome to Dead Heart, Alaska. Population 673. Living." So that's the living population, but also they've got vampires, haven't they? Which are not living. Do you know what? I'm actually going to read you a little bit of the blurb. So it says, in a small Alaskan town, a boy is found with his throat ripped out and the blood drained from his body. The brutality of the murder chillingly echoes a killing from 25 years ago. Out-of-state detective Barbara Atkins is brought in to assist the sheriff who investigated the original case. However, the inhabitants of Dead Heart believe they know who was responsible, one of the nearby vampire colony who live in an old mining settlement deep in the mountains. Blah, blah, blah. You have got kind of like this battle between vampire and human, which I am a vampire girly through and through. I bloody love me some vampires. And I did love the gore in this book. But for me, I don't know. I think I just wanted it to be a bit more graphic, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I wanted it to be a little bit more horror vibes. But I would still highly recommend, definitely for the winter setting, because like I said, it is ultimate. Like Alaska, you don't get more wintry and isolated than that unless you literally go into like the North Pole. Right, next up is another one that I don't think I rated this because I actually DNF'd it. But again, this is a book that has been very highly recommended and rated. And again, I do just think it is a me problem. It is The Snowman by Jo Nesbo. Now, I know Jo Nesbo is a very popular author. And do you know what? I actually DNF'd this book really far into it. I think I got like 380 odd pages into like a 500 page book. So I do feel like I read enough to be able to give you my opinions on it. Oh my God, I've just checked actually, and it was 560 pages. That's quite long for a thriller book, in my defense, isn't it? But I did really enjoy it up until the point I DNF'd it. So it is about a serial killer that turns his victims into snow people, snowmen, snow women, whatever you want to call them. I mean, the crime scenes are so graphic, and I love my serial killer thrillers dark like that. Like, I absolutely love the vibes of this book. And obviously it's got a snowy setting because they're literally like snowmen, you know? The blurb isn't very long, actually. I'm going to read you a tiny bit of it. So it says, after the first snowfall of the year, a young boy wakes up and discovers that his mother has disappeared. Only one trace of her remains, a pink scarf now worn by the snowman that appeared in their yard earlier that day. The reason I DNF'd it was definitely a me problem. So I really struggled with the Norwegian names and places. There were so many Norwegian names and places that, I mean, I couldn't pronounce and I couldn't understand, and it started just losing me. But like I said, that is a massive me problem, and I know so many people who have read this book and they absolutely loved it. So don't let me put you off, because the story itself was really good. Next up, we have got Geneva by Richard Armitage. And this is another short book. This is another one that's under 300 pages. In this book, we follow our main character called Sarah, who has a glittering scientific career. She's got a husband that absolutely adores her, but I can't actually remember how old she is. I want to say she's in her 30s or 40s, and she's starting to show signs of early onset Alzheimer's. Her only chance of a cure is this controversial new treatment that's available in Switzerland. So her and her husband travel to Geneva to see what it's about, basically. But when they get to Geneva, her symptoms start getting worse. And do you know what? This book is another one that really stressed me out while I was reading it, because Sarah is an unreliable narrator, but because she can't trust her own memory. And it says there as well, in Geneva, as events turn dangerous and her memory loss worsens, Sarah has to decide who to trust, the people around her or, despite her symptoms, herself. So she starts getting really suspicious of literally everybody around her, but she doesn't know if it's because of her symptoms. And yeah, she doesn't even know if she can trust herself. I really, really enjoyed this book. I actually did it on audio and I highly recommend the audio. It is actually narrated by Richard Armitage himself, and Nicola Walker plays Sarah. They were both fantastic together. Like, I have loved Richard Armitage in all of the Harlan Coben adaptations on Netflix that he's been in. Like, absolutely love him as an actor. And I also love Nicola Walker. She is a phenomenal actress as well. So those two together worked so well on the audiobook. So yeah, if this book is on your radar, then I highly recommend the audio for it. Right, next up we have got one that's more Christmassy than wintry and more mystery than thriller. But I thought I'd put it in anyway, because why not? I mean, I'm a full-grown adult and I'm making use of free will, so I thought, why not shove it in anyway? Happy Bloody Christmas by Jo Middleton. This is actually another one that's available on Kindle Unlimited, and another one that's not actually that long. It's like 330 odd pages. And it actually says it's part of a series. Book 2, I'm sure book 2 it's either out or it's coming out. And I'm so excited to read that book. But it's part of like a Christmas murder mystery series. So in this book, we follow our main character called Anna, and honestly, she is hilarious. She is such a relatable character, and I found myself laughing out loud so many times. So she is struggling with her Christmas to-do list. Like, she's got so much on her plate. Like it says there, all Anna wants for Christmas is to finish her to-do list and finally sit down with the world's biggest glass of wine. But when she stumbles across a dead body in her larder, her plans are well and truly buggered. I mean, it doesn't, like, how British is that? It's so funny. And it says there, with her judgmental in-laws arriving in 24 hours, turning the house into a crime scene is not an option. So it's up to Anna to find out what the hell's gone on, and figure out what to do with the body before the kids find it. It is fun. It's more of like a cozy murder mystery, I guess. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it made me laugh. I just think it's perfect for this time of year. I mean, what more could you want for Christmas than a body in your larder? Next up, we have got The Life We Bury by Alan Eskens, and this is another one that's under 300 pages. I actually think this is such an underrated thriller book. I'm sure I spoke about it actually on my underrated thriller books video, because I literally don't see anybody talking about it, and I really enjoyed it. So it follows the story of a college student called Joe Talbot, and part of his assignment for his English class is to interview a stranger and write a biography about them. So Joe heads to a nearby nursing home where he meets Carl Iverson. Carl is a dying Vietnam veteran, but he is also a convicted murderer. Joe starts interviewing Carl, and Carl starts telling Joe all about his life, all about his life during the Vietnam War, and it starts building up to what actually happened and how he ended up being convicted of murder. And the more time Joe spends with Carl, the more he struggles to understand how this man committed such a horrendous crime, but was also a war hero, you know? And you have just got this ultimate race against time, because Joe is so invested in Carl's story and his life, and he really wants to find out, like, what actually happened, like, what led up to this awful event. But the race against time is Carl is dying, and he wants to try and find it all out before he dies. I was so pleasantly surprised by this book. I think I did it on audio because it was free on Audible at the time I listened to it. So I didn't really know what to expect. I went in completely blind, and I was gripped. Like, I was so invested in the whole plot. I loved the characters, and yeah, highly recommend. And last but not least, for the books that I have read before we get into the ones that are on my TBR, is The Overnight Guest by Heather Gudenkauf. This is another one that's available on Kindle Unlimited, and this is another one that stressed me out so much. Oh my God, was I stressed reading this book. Like, it is set right in the thick of one of the worst snowstorms ever. Like, they lose power, they can't get anywhere in their car. Like, honestly, it is ultimate claustrophobic isolation vibes, and I Oh my God, I loved it. So I'm actually going to read you a little bit of the blurb. It says, true crime writer Wiley Lark doesn't mind being snowed in at the isolated farmhouse where she's retreated to write her new book. A cosy fire, complete silence. It would be perfect if not for the fact that decades earlier at this very house, 2 people were murdered in cold blood and a girl disappeared without a trace. And then the snowstorm gets worse and Riley goes outside. I can't remember what she goes outside for, but she stumbles across this child in the snow that's not in the best condition. This is all in the blurb as well. It's not a spoiler. And yeah, she takes the child into her house and that's where the mystery begins. It is, oh my God, it is so tense. It is full of suspense and literally gave me the worst anxiety while I was reading it. There are a few different storylines going on throughout the book and there wasn't one that I didn't enjoy. Like, I was so invested the whole way through. I actually really love this author's writing style as well. I feel like she has written other books, so I'm definitely going to look into those. But this is the ultimate winter thriller book. Like, if you only pick one from this video, then you don't get much more wintry and isolated than this book. Right, on to my very extensive winter thriller TBR. I feel like I've got more winter thrillers on my TBR than I've actually read. So I am going to try and make a dent in them this winter because I had all good intentions of reading like proper wintry vibes thriller books last year. And I ended up in a massive slump last December and only read 2 books. So wasn't the best reading month, to be honest. Yeah, I'm just going to go through these as quick as possible, I think, because there's quite a lot here. So first up, we have got These Silent Woods by Kimi Cunningham Grant. The size of this book. This is a mass market paperback, I'm guessing. Like, what is that? It is like the smallest book ever. When I do read this, I'm definitely not going to read this physically. It is bloody tiny. I don't like it. But this is like ultimate isolation vibes. I'm sure, yeah, it's about a man and his daughter and they have lived in an isolated remote cabin in the northern, is it Appalachian woods? I never know how you pronounce that. And that's exactly how he wants it. So they've gone there because they've got a lot to hide, it says. But his daughter is starting to push against this life that he's created and she doesn't want it anymore. And it says the only people who know they exist are a mysterious local hermit named Scotland and Cooper's old friend Jake, who visits each winter to bring them food and supplies. But this year, Jake doesn't show up, setting off an irreversible chain of events that reveals just how precarious their situation really is. Doesn't that sound so good? I have seen so many incredible reviews for this book. So if you have read it, then please let me know if I need to prioritise it. Same with any of these books in my TBR pile, to be honest, because there's no way I'm going to be able to get to all of them this winter. So if you have read any of them, then please let me know in the comments if you think, like any in particular, I should prioritise because you think I'd love them. Right, next up we have got The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon. McMahon? Is that how you say it? I'm not entirely sure. This I have seen really good things about. It is historical as well. It is set in 1908, is it? I feel like this has got like witchy, haunting vibes. I think this may be more a horror, to be honest. I don't really know. It says crisp, mysterious and scary, reminiscent of Stephen King. Oh, but then it says there, McMahon gives readers just what they want from a good thriller. Can't put it down, stay up until dawn reading. I mean, say less. I think it's got like supernatural vibes. So it's about like old legends. The most mysterious is that of Sarah Harrison Shear, who in 1908 was found dead in the field behind her house just months after the tragic death of her daughter. Now in the present day, so we've got kind of like historical, like backstory, I'm guessing. Now in the present day, 19-year-old Ruthie lives in Sarah's farmhouse with her mother Alice and her younger sister Fawn. Alice has always insisted they live off-grid. Ruthie wakes up one morning to find that Alice has vanished. No, stop! You just know I'm gonna love this. They find a copy of Sarah's diary hidden beneath the floorboards of her mother's bedroom. How many times have I said on this channel, I love a hidden diary. I love anything that's hidden beneath the floorboards. It's a historical mystery. No, this has got my name written all over it. I feel like this is going on my winter TBR for this year, 100%. Next up, we have got Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates. So heads up, if you're in my online book club, this is actually going to be our online book club pick for December. If you are not in my online book club and you would like to join, the link to join is in the description in the video. It is all free through Fable, and yeah, this is the one we'll be reading. And I think this is kind of like horror thriller as well. So it is about a group of people that go like hiking in the Rocky Mountains, and because of a bitter snowstorm, they end up having to take refuge in this old hunting cabin, and things take a sinister turn from there. So it says, deep in the night, their tour guide goes missing, only to be discovered the following morning, his severed head impaled on a tree outside the cabin. I bloody love it. Honestly, I cannot wait to read this. It says creepy, claustrophobic and thoroughly frightening. Like, isn't that cover giving ultimate winter vibes? Right, next up we have got The Hunger by Alma Katsu. And again, is Alma Katsu more of a horror author? I don't really know, but it's on my shelf and on my TBR, and it's got snow on it. So I thought I would just add it into this video anyway. And again, it's just about a group that struggles to survive in the conditions. Oh, it's based on a true story. Based on the true story of one of the most infamous events in American history, The Hunger is an eerie, shiver-inducing exploration of human nature pushed to its breaking point. Well, astonishingly atmospheric and enthralling and chilling read. Oh, it's got historical fiction as well. An uneasy, nauseous, slow-burning tale that marries historical fiction with a hint of the supernatural. See, I want to add this to my TBR as well, but it looks quite chunky. Oh, God, it's nearly 500 pages. Maybe I will add it to my winter TBR, because I think I said in one of my previous videos, my winter TBR is going to cover December and January. So I can add a few more books to my winter TBR in that case, can't I? Right, next up, we have got I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid. And I feel like the US cover gives more winter vibes than the UK cover does. I will put an overlay of the US cover so that you can see what I mean. Yeah, it has. It's got a snowstorm. I was like, have I put the wrong book in this video? But it does. It says, a woman embarks on a road trip with a new boyfriend amid doubts about her commitment. They are visiting his parents' remote farm. When the two take an unexpected detour in a snowstorm, she is left wondering if there is any escape at all. So they all give like fairly similar vibes, I'm guessing. This is very short. It says, Ian Reid's debut novel will grab you from the first page and haunt you long after the last is turned. Oh yeah, this is only just over 200 pages. Maybe one for the December TBR then, if I'm looking for something a little bit like short and snappy. Oh, it's been made into a film, a Netflix film. Right, next up we have got The Christmas Killer by Alex Pine. So this is book 1 in a series of about 6, I think. And they're all like Christmassy, wintry themed thrillers. I bought this last year with all intentions of reading it for Christmas. And I never got to it. But I always see Alex Pine's books recommended in Christmassy, wintry thriller book videos. So I am very intrigued by this. I think it's like a police procedural, is it? As the snow begins to fall, the body count begins to climb. D.I. James Walker is ready for a quiet family Christmas in the sleepy village of Kirkby Abbey, but when he opens an early Christmas present left on his doorstep, he soon realises it's no gift. Inside is a gruesome surprise and a promise. 12 days, 12 murders. Not long after the first body is found, half frozen in the snow. It's like a bloody 12 Days of Christmas serial killer vibe. Doesn't that sound so good? So I am going to try my very best to read book 1 in this series. I feel like, is this book 2 then? Tell you what I'd wish, you know, like for series and books, why don't they put the numbers on the books? I feel like this is probably, no, I actually think this is book 3, you know, because I think I got this in the works because I saw it in the works. Yeah, it is, it's book 3. Haven't read book 1, haven't even got book 2 and decided to buy book 3. I mean, that's just me all over, isn't it? Right, next up we have got The Drift by CJ Tudor. And even though I didn't love The Gathering, I have recently read another CJ Tudor book called The Burning Girls, which I really enjoyed. So I have high hopes for this one. I have seen some of my book friends as well say that this is like one of their favourites. The blurb is tiny. Outside, a snowstorm rages. Inside each group, a killer lurks, but that's not their only problem. Why is no rescue coming? What are they trying to escape from? And who are the terrifying whistlers? No. Oh, it says there, a lot of scary horror-tinged fun. So I'm wondering if this is more horror, is it? Oh, look at the isolated cabin vibes of that cover. I love it. Next up, we've got one with a very similar vibe, One by One by Ruth Ware. Can you believe I have not read any books by Ruth Ware yet? I've got a few of hers on my shelf, and I've just never got round to them. So is this the year I finally dip my toe into a Ruth Ware book? So they're in an alpine ski resort, and I feel like, again, there's like a group of people who are stuck. An avalanche cuts the chalet off from help, and one board member goes missing in the snow. The group is forced to ask, would someone resort to murder to get what they want? Honestly, it sounds really, really good. And again, this is one I always see recommended on like winter thriller book videos that like come up on my For You page or whatever. I've had it on my shelf for like a year and a half, and I do feel like it's time I actually picked it up. Right, next up we have got another author I've not read. Lucy Foley. The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. Oh, it's set in Scotland. In a remote hunting lodge deep in the Scottish wilderness, old friends gather for New Year. The beautiful one, the golden couple, the volatile one, the new parents, the quiet one, the city boy, the outsider, the victim. Not an accident, a murder among friends. I tell you what, this is giving like Agatha Christie, Cluedo vibes a little bit, isn't it? A ripping, riveting murder mystery. Oh, it says there, wily as Agatha Christie, charged with real menace. I mean, to be fair, this cover isn't giving like winter vibes at all, is it? But I am very intrigued. Right, next up we have got Near the Bone by Christina Henry, which I feel is a horror, is it? Something with sharp teeth and claws. When three strangers appear on the mountaintop looking for the creature in the woods, Matty knows their presence will anger William. Terrible things happen when William is angry. Is this werewolf vibes? I mean, there's a wolf on the cover. I don't know. Do you know what? I actually saw a review for this the other day that said it's like they were recommending it, but they said that it was infuriating as well. So that's got me really intrigued to read it. And again, it's got ultimate snowy vibes, hasn't it? And then I've got some that I don't have physical copies of because they're all on my Kindle. So I thought I'd briefly mention those as well, because I do feel like even when people talk about their TBR, like when I watch other people's videos, I always get inspiration from that as well. So I'm really hoping that you can still get inspiration from the books that are on my TBR, even if I haven't read them yet. So the first one on my Kindle is The Snow Girls by Chris Mooney. How like snowy and wintry is this cover? This has also got a 4.4 star rating on Amazon. It says the gripping thriller that will give you chills this winter. It's been 11 years since Claire Flynn disappeared, abducted without a trace from a snowy hillside. Investigator Darby McCormick remembers the case. She knows there's only ever been one suspect, Father Richard Byrne, linked inconclusively to two similar disappearances. Finally, now terminally ill, Byrne is willing to talk, but he'll only talk to Darby. She's expecting a confession, but what she hears is far more disturbing. This has been on my Kindle, like, well over a year. I bought this last year, and I just keep forgetting about it because it's so far down on my Kindle. This is actually making me really excited to talk to you about my winter TBR. I think this is going to have to go on there as well, isn't it? Watch my winter TBR end up being about 30 books long now, like my spooky season TBR this is going to be like. We have also got A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall on my Kindle. A woman invited to her wealthy fiancé's family retreat realises they are hiding a terrible secret and that she's been there before. In a disused cabin, Theo finds something impossible, a photo of herself as a child. No, that sounds really good as well. I have got another wintry Darcy Coates book on my Kindle as well called Voices in the Snow. That cover, I am so obsessed with that cover. Oh, it's book 1 in a series. That's putting me off a little bit because I don't really want to be starting another series, so maybe I'll leave that until another time. We have also got The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce, and I mean, apart from the fact it's got a winter setting, it's set in a sanatorium, which is another thing I absolutely love in my books. Oh, this is part of a series as well though, and it's 448 pages, so I probably won't read that this year, I'll be honest. But again, I can save it for next year's winter TBR. The Sanatorium will keep you checking over your shoulder. This spine-tingling, atmospheric thriller has it all. An eerie alpine setting, sharp prose and twists you'll never see coming. It's set in an abandoned sanatorium. Stop it right now. And then last but not least, for my winter TBR books, I have got The Curator by M.W. Craven, which is actually book 3 in the Washington Post series. I read book 1 this year, like a good few months ago, and I am currently reading book 2, which is called Black Summer, and I am loving it. Like, spoiler alert for my reading wrap up, I am currently, I don't know how far into it I am, I can't remember, I was reading it last night, but I am, oh my god, I am so invested in this story and I'm absolutely loving it. Book 3 is set around Christmas. So I think this is going to have to go on my Christmas TBR. So I didn't actually know that this was set around Christmas until one of you guys mentioned in the comments. And I was like, stop, I didn't know book 3 was set around Christmas. So this is definitely going on my Christmas TBR. It says it's Christmas and a serial killer is leaving displayed body parts all over Cumbria. A strange message is left at each scene. I mean, what more could you want for Christmas than body parts being displayed all over the place? It sounds right up my street. So yeah, that brings me to the end of my winter thriller book video. I know that this has been a little bit of a different video. I feel like it's been a little bit chaotic, to be honest. And even though I haven't actually read as many winter thriller books as I would have liked, I still wanted to put this video together for you to help anybody that's currently planning like their winter TBR. And to be honest, it's actually helped me as well with my winter TBR, because I did mention in one of my videos I posted last week, I think, that I was like in the middle of planning my winter TBR. It's almost finished. So I feel like after this video, I'm going to have to tweak it a little bit. I'm going to post my own winter TBR the end of November, beginning of December. So yeah, keep an eye out for that one. But yeah, I still hope that this video has given you some inspiration. If you did enjoy, please don't forget to hit that little subscribe button below. I would absolutely love it if you decided to stick around for lots of book recommendations. I have got so many videos coming your way, so many I'm excited about and so many I'm excited to film. The next video that's going to go up after this video is going to be my ultimate winter reading guide. So similar to my ultimate autumn reading guide that I did for fall, I'm going to do a winter version where I talk all about like winter book recommendations that are perfect for this time of year. And they're going to be like a mixture of genres as well. I'm so excited to film it. And yeah, I think I will leave it there for now. Happy reading, and I'll catch you all next time.